Sex and disability. I'm going to be talking about sex and disability. We're going to be talking about explicit and sensitive topics, and there'll be reference to sexual behaviour and to using sex toys. My name is Mel Gadd. I'm a sex educator with Cwmniaddysg Cru Sex Education Company. So what does sexual health mean to us? Well, the World Health Organization defines sexual health as a state of physical, emotional, mental and social well-being in relation to sexuality. It's not merely the absence of a disease, dysfunction or infirmity. And sexual health promotion is the process of enabling people to increase control over their sexual health and should be based on people's needs and abilities. So some common issues regarding sex and disability. So first of all, we notice a lack of understanding of disabled people's right to be sexual. Disabled people have as much right as any other member of the population to be sexual, to have relationships and to have sex. Assumptions get made about people's sexuality, identity and orientation. There is a lack of inclusive RSE at school, and quite often people with disabilities don't get relationships and sex education that meets their unique needs, and often doesn't reference and have images of other disabled people who are sexual. There is poor media portrayal of disabled people and sex, and it is something that's not shown commonly in the media that people who have disabilities who are having happy relationships and are having happy sex lives. And quite often when we're talking about relationships and sex education, disabled people, there's no inclusion of the topic of pleasure. So let's think outside the box. So sex is much more than penetration. So experiment with a range of ways your body and your partner's body can experience pleasure. Try not to make assumptions about what you or your partner can and can't do. And just with the rest of our lives, there are tools and support to help us have a more satisfying sex life. Disabled people are just as likely to enjoy kinks as fetish as the rest of the population. Disability doesn't always mean vanilla. And you can request support from your care team with undressing and getting in the correct position with your sexual partner. Some tips for intimacy around sex. Take time to get to know your own body and what feels good for you, and talk to your partners about what you enjoy. You might want to start slowly, exploring different parts of each other's bodies and different types of touch. Sex is always more enjoyable if we can tell or show our partner what we enjoy and why. Communication is key. Whether we're disabled or not, talking about sex and intimacy can sometimes feel really difficult. Having open conversations beforehand will make it easier to have the kind of sex you both want to have. Sex should feel pleasurable. Sometimes we need a bit of extra help with experiencing sexual pleasure, or we want to mix things up a bit. Water-based lubricant is a great place to start to enhancing sexual pleasure, and you may want to investigate using sex toys on your own and with your partner. So, what about a sex toy? So sex toys are designed to stimulate your genitals and other body parts in a safe way. There are sex toys for a range of body parts, for example, vulva, clitoris, vagina, penis, anus and nipples. There are also accessible sex toys for people who find it difficult to masturbate themselves or others with their hands. And you can order sex toys online and they can be delivered to your home, or you can pick them up in a store. They arrive in discreet packaging. Here are a couple of sex toy retailers that we recommend because they are really accessible and really easy to use. And here they have QR codes that will take you to those websites. So in terms of having sex, let's think about our general safety. Who are you with? Who knows where you are? What can you do if you don't feel safe? Have a safety plan to make sure that you can get out of awkward situations. Communicate your boundaries about what you do and don't want to do, and check that your partner feels safe too. Consent is key. What you do is your choice, but it's also the other person's or people's choice too. Be sure that all parties are fully consenting to everything you do together. An absence of a no is definitely not a yes. And if you worry about reading body language and non-verbal cues, make sure you talk beforehand about how you both show consent or non-consent. You cannot legally consent to sexual activity when drink or drugs inhibit choice making, if someone is asleep or unconscious, if they're forced or tricked. Here's some useful organisations and links. So I've included Enhance the UK, Disability Horizons and SHADA. These are all rights-based organisations that talk openly and frankly about disabled people and sex. Your local students' union has internal and external condoms, DAMs, lubes for free, and also they have test and post STI kits. And these are available for free from the Student Centre and the accessible toilet in the Students' Union. And your Student Wellbeing Service have a range of services that can support you, including around the topics of sexual violence, harassment and mental health. And they also assign posting to other local services. Your local sexual health board is called BCUHB, and they are easy access, friendly and non-judgmental. They're free. They provide STI testing and treatment, contraception services and HIV services. You can access a range of different services through Public Health Wales through their Sexual Health Wales website. And you can access free test and post STI screening, free postal condoms, and there's a range of sexual health information on their website too. This is one of a series of 9 video presentations on a range of relationships and sexual health topics commissioned by Undeb Banga. They're designed and delivered by Cwmni Addysg Rhyw Sex Education Company.